Guys, Jess, your Walsworth Yearbook Rep. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about yearbook headings and how we can improve those within our book. So, typically, I see yearbook headings as like soccer or Halloween, something very easy to recognize. And today, we're going to talk about how, those headings may have been good in the past, but if we want to improve our book, take it to the next level, this is such an easy area to make it more fun and creative. So, as I was saying, band, choir, football, cheerleaders. Okay, these are not headlines. Those are just topics, those are specifics. If we want to make headlines, we have to make it more exciting and fun. Okay, a dynamic headline will have these things: a main headline, a subheading, and I'll talk about what all these things are. Dynamic typography. What is typography? That is just how we use our fonts and our words and make it more creative and artistic. Also, could have, not always, but a lot of times, it has creative wordplay. All right, skip this for now. So, when we write our headlines, the headline is like the first thing that readers see. When they open up that spread, headline, boom. So, we want to make it exciting. We want them to be like, wow, must be a really cool topic or cool spread. Like, let's dive in and read it. Right? This headline structure. So, for a headline package, you're going to have your primary headline. Might be a little bit catchy, fun, a little playful. And that secondary headline, that's the information. That's going to be like one or two sentences. And again, like this is just like the English language. There's always exceptions to these rules. So as I'm talking about these, take it with a grain of salt. There's always other ways to do things. But I'd say like 85, 90% of the time, this is how we would want it to be done. So the secondary headline is usually like those facts, those figures. Okay. Very easy, very straightforward. Headline, the primary, summer speculation. The secondary headline, the information. Despite COVID-19, students attempt normalcy through summer activities. That is a fact, right? And the summer speculation is just a little more fun and catchy. A different type of headline package is a kicker. Okay. This is where the one line secondary headline is placed above the actual heading. So it's just a different placement here. Okay. So the heading here, where do we go from here? That is the main headline. Now, the secondary is placed above it. It says, there is one question sitting on everyone's mind as of now. So it's just placed above. So it's just a different, organization. And it's good to mix these things up. Would I do every single headline this way? No. But occasionally I can switch it up just to make things a little more interesting. This example, headline, One Nation. The secondary headline or subheadline, no one would have thought that democracy could blah, 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 right? It's like actually like two or three sentences in there. So this is a little bit of a longer one, but that's where all of the information is. Culinary creations. And then that secondary headline above it, being home for extended periods of time led some to create culinary creations. And again, we didn't just write like food we made at home. I mean, blah. Culinary creations, very cool. One other thing for me to point out to you here is the use of, and we'll talk more about the typography, but I love the typography on these examples in this show. Culinary, bold, very like straightforward. Then creations is that scripty, like fun red with that little arrow at the end. We layer it over top of one another. Very, very easy to do and very fun. We'll talk more about that towards the end. Okay. Divide and conquer. I also love this one with the big, I can never say this word. I don't know why, but ampersand, the and symbol that's behind everything. It's mute. Well, not behind everything, actually layers over top of that, photo with the broom. But, the layering technique that it's behind most of the other photos and just kind of ties them together. I love when the heading is part of the design. So fun. And I have like tons and tons of examples in here, so I'm going to skip through some of them. Um, if you want, I can share this slide, this whole like PDF, and you can see these examples, but there's so many in here. I'm not going to spend time on every single one. This particular example had the secondary heading after the primary. So nation divided, again, that's the heading. And then below it, the 2020 election was not like other blah, 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 all that information. Also, just side note, love this one, how they literally took the word divided and cut through it. Not only showing what divided means or division means, but like, again, taking that art and putting it into the heading. Study on, that's the heading. And right below that is the subheading. Easy. I'm just gonna skip 2 3s. Let's skip this one. This one I love. It's so fun. So this type of headline package is where the primary and secondary are side by side. In the wink of an eye is the primary. And then next to it, how do we still get our point across a room with most of our faces under fabric? The eyes have it all. I know I'm like dating us back to COVID era, but these were just all really great examples that I pulled. Love in the wink of an eye, how we have in the wink of layered on top of eye. So easy, but so cool. Okay. Again, if you learn nothing out of this whole session and just like one thing to focus on, be creative, have fun, do things out of the ordinary. Don't just do your heading say soccer. Let's make it fun. Oh, sorry. Using literary devices. Now I'm going to take you back to like, when did we learn literary devices? Maybe that's like a ninth grade English-ish, I think. I'm trying to remember which teacher I had. But these kind of play on words will help make things fun, help make them memorable. Alliteration, repetition of the same beginning sound, making money moves. Cool. And then you see that subheading right underneath it. Senior recounts specific moments from lifeguarding. Now it's probably going to be about lifeguarding, how he earns his summer money, blah, blah, blah. But like making money moves. Cool. Like a light. Also, beautiful photo. Love this. And the subheading you see, pep rally goes virtual during pandemic. Like a light. Still alliteration, Tampa Bay title town. Cool. An allusion is an expression designed to call something to mind without explicitly mentioning it. So we're just like alluding to it, right? Lego, my Van Gogh. Bonus points if you know what that's from. We eat it for breakfast here a lot. Lego, my Van Gogh. Okay. Oops, sorry. The road less traveled. What is that from? Should I stay or should I go? Question mark. Again, we're still alluding to these things, but not mentioning them. And this was, and again, the subheading, the facts, the subheading. Students change vacation plans to abide by COVID guidelines. Easy. All about that bass. I feel like that was just yesterday, but I guess that song is now like over 10 years old. You guys might not even know it. I might need my advisors to know all about that bass. I'm gonna skip the other one. Puns, play on words. I mean, we all probably know what a pun is. It's like a dad joke, if I may. Love a good dad joke. I fall in love. I fall in love. Like I fall in love, in case nobody got that one. Okay. Fun is mandatory. I don't know why I love that one. I think it's so funny. Okay, see, love a good dad joke. Great heading, and it says subheading. Throughout the bands, students found their place to learn, perform, grow, and bond with each other. Perfect. This is one I feel like I should skip. Now that you already saw it. Rhyming. We all know what rhyming is. Tie-dye sky. Right below that, seniors organize their senior sunrise. Okay, I know a lot of you guys do senior sunrise. I'm a big fan of it because we get great photos for yearbook. But we don't have to just call it Senior Sunrise. You guys all know what it is. Let's make this title a little more exciting. Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes. TikTok, hot or not? You guys might be doing a TikTok spread. Okay, remember, I keep focusing on that subheading because it's so important that the main heading, the primary, is fun and exciting. And then that subheading is your information. It's going to be a full sentence. It's written in present tense, okay? Try not to repeat the same things over and over. And it's very easy to get in this like habit of being like students, blah, 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 all the time. Okay. This is your goal. This is your chance to make the readers want to read the story. Punctuation, question mark. That is up to you. Are we doing periods? Are we doing exclamation points? I mean, we can't be excited every single time. But also, do we need to do punctuation? This example down here for their subheading in the Texas summer sun, seniors find ways to dodge the heat while painting their parking spots. They did not use punctuation. Doesn't matter. Use it, don't use it. Be consistent throughout your book. If you're going to do it on all your pages. If you're not, don't. Okay. Creating connections. Love this one. We have this beautiful photo over here that I had to like cut out because I obviously don't have enough room, but we pulled that photo into the word creating. And then we have our subheading, off the record. Subhead, students embrace old forms of listening to music. So easy. Under pressure, subheadings next to it. Expectations bring tension and excitement to high stakes plays. And the band. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can see examples of, again, also just to take a side note of the typography on here, how we have different colors, we have different sizes. Like this is such a simplistic font, like all of them really. I mean, this could just be a Helvetica for all I know. Times New Roman. No, it's not times. But we're changing the size, we're changing the color, we're adding like this weird little dot right here, this dot's over here. We are layering a photo over top of it to make it exciting. We don't have to have 30 different fonts in our book in order to make it visually appealing. We just have to work with, the same thing and just branch out. Again, like this font, how simplistic is that? But look at all of this. And now we're kind of creating this package, not package, but like we're creating a font family of different ways to use this regular font. And if you just showed me this, I could be like, yes, that's all from the same exact yearbook, right? Because it's following this theme with these different fonts. Might have to like skip through a little bit here. Okay, designing headlines. Again, I talked about typography already. Hierarchy, okay? That is the range of sizes. So you want to make your most important words the biggest. The words the, a, and, as, not that important. They should not be the largest. Let's look at okay. Some other choices. We can do a single font. That's what I said before. Like it was just one font, but like they did it a bunch of different ways. I like that. Multiple font also. I'm also a big fan of that as well. That's where you would pair a serif and a sans serif family together. And so one is like more like bold, straightforward. The other one's like could be like scripty or fun or like have the tails and everything. So here you see about these ones we saw already, but now you can see how they're paired together. And the big words are the most important. That in is small. In the is small. Tie-dye sky. What's the most important word there? Sky. Hybrid days. Days is the most important. Push for points. Love how we have the image layering over top of it. They also decided to take the 4 and turn that 90 degrees. Fun. Again, I'm not going to read every single one, but we want to have a visual verbal connection. Okay, so the dominant photo, you saw like a few examples, we had the photo intertwining with the words. So that's something we can use to play with our typography. Colors, I mean, I've talked about this all the time, having a color palette throughout our book, but a lot of times we want to take that dominant photo and have a color pulled out of there if possible. Does it always work? Again, no, but so this one, the road to code, rhyming, if anyone didn't get that one, like how we have it slightly layered over top here. Code is really big. That's the most important word. On top of here is our subhead heading, a digital diversion turns into a unique educational experience. Capitalization. Remember, we can play with all caps, small caps, lowercase, all lowercase, and then of course arrangement, how we arrange all of these letters and words. Couple rules, okay? Now that we talked about a lot of fun stuff, couple rules. Again, rules are meant to be broken sometimes. So headline should be subject, verb, direct object format. Be times when you're going to break the rules, but be brief, use action verbs. And again, always present tense. The story is happening. Headline punctuation. Here's some rules I can share with you later. Periods aren't necessary. We talked about that already. Punctuation, you don't have to use. Don't use abbreviations unless everyone really knows it. Like it says here, commonly known NHS. I mean, I do know what NHS is. I'm not sure everyone does. FCA, I have no idea what that is. So like, I disagree with this one. I would say more often than not, don't use abbreviations. Questions. So when you are asking a question as your headline, it should be purposeful. You're not questioning the reader. We're not going to, well, yes, you're going to use names unless they're well known, but I think just don't use names. I don't like using names. And ing words. We're not going to use ing words. Let's find some inspiration. Okay, inspiration. I love, especially for headlines. Look at some magazines. You get like, I mean, no matter what kind of magazine there is some great inspiration in there. So this is from Ultralight. Like, I guess it's like this outdoor gear, maybe hiking thing, but on a knife edge. So cool with the fonts. I love how it layers over the photo. This whole thing right here, this could be a layout in your book, a divider page probably. And there's your subheading right under there. Esquire, what's a real man? Okay, look at that heading, like upside down question mark kind of a thing. The what's a, nice and small, and then real man, big. The case of the purloined books. I don't even know what that means, but this one breaks our all of our rules in that it has the subheading going through the actual heading. Cool. The velvet hammer layering over top of the actual photo. I'm going to skip some of these now. Oh, this one's cool. The gold rush. And then they have this gold. The U almost looks like a balance beam, right? So, or like a, for that weighing thing is. I don't work with gold a lot, so I'm not sure of what that term is. But you have the gold like resting on top of the U. All of these letters are intertwined. Sideways, 5 ways to shop small. So here is your main heading, and then over here is your subheading. Soak up. Break free from the rectangle. So those were some examples. I wasn't really focused on that, but we don't have to just have like, our headline here and then subheading here. We can use the space across this whole layout. Been there, seen that. It can get a little tricky just because like if you're not focused, this part kind of gets lost to me. I would have liked to see been there, seen, and then that over here makes more sense to me visually. But hey, to each his own. Just getting started. And now if you can tell, these are from the same book. This is from Colonial Forge, always an award-winning book. Same kind of style it has. Get loud, get proud, get hype. Still the same book. This one I have a hard time with. But it's United, United. Defensive intensity. Again, a little bit challenging, but I love that we're using the actual photo and intertwining all of the lettering with it. Experience. This one we saw before, the call where they had her arms layered over top of it. That's fun. I like off the grid. Couple reasons. One, the word off is literally off the spread. So that to me is like, wow, kudos. And then grid has an actual white grid going through it, but just through the grid part. So it's like very subtle. This one's hard for me. It's not, well, the thing is, it's not the act, like it's a title, but it's all just like, what's that? Is onomatopoeia? Like the sound of words, right? Bzz, bark, whir, bzz, meow, clink. So it's all sounds. There's not an actual heading on here, I guess you could argue. 200. Here's a couple more examples, and I will start to wrap things up right now. I mean, photo, amazing. Shipwrecked. The show must go online. Kind of a little play on words. Again, remember, I pulled these from like the COVID era. So their theater department performs on a main stage without an audience. So the actual theater department performed on stage, but they couldn't have an audience. So they filmed it and then posted it. Kind of cool. Say their names, go global, off the grid. A divided nation. Again, being very literal in that they took the word divided and divided it between those two pages. Stand together. This is pretty grand changes. Like when we talk about pairing those two fonts, one is going to be, maybe a little more whimsical or fun or curly or scripty, and then changes. That other font is just like straightforward, bold, like sans serif easy. If the shoe fits, up in the air, easy. But remember, those words that don't matter that much, make them smaller. Believe in fairies. I love this font choice because it looks like very like fairy, whimsical, like oops, we can skip that one. Head in the game. What a cool photo this is. And to have the text kind of wrap around over here and then the heading underneath the actual light post. Like this photo looks like it was one of those like rounded ones. Really, really cool though. Like it looks like all of the text and the heading is part of the photo. Okay. Some goals. Get your head in the game. Oh, I skipped one. Get out and create great headlines. Get your head in the game. Lead your audience into the story, okay? Focus on this headline first. Thank you very much. So as I said, if you would like for me to take a look at some of your spreads, come in or share with you some ideas for headings, please just let me know. Have a wonderful rest of the day.